next speaker for the day is Malyasri Bhattacharya. She is a research fellow at the Wildlife Institute of India, where she works on the ecology and recovery of the critically endangered vultures of Kangra, Himachal Pradesh. Previously, she has volunteered with NCF in their Hornbill telemetry project. She has studied habitat use of the black-necked crane and has recently been involved in a study on the responses of birds and mammals to wind farms. The title of her talk is Telemetric Studies on the White Rumped Vulture. On to you, Malyasri.
Hello everyone, my name is Malyasri Bhattacharya and I'm working as a junior research fellow with Wildlife Institute of India. My work is in Kangra district, Himachal Pradesh, and I wanted to understand the movement dynamics of wild white vultures from Kangra. The vultures are nature's most useful scavengers. They can actually use full as a natural source for carcass disposal. They can clean up carcass within 1 hour rather than the other scavengers which will take days and will spread difficult diseases like rabies, tuberculosis. What in my field, what I have seen that this vultures, this is a group of wild white-rump vultures and Himalayan driven vultures too, that have cleaned up the carcass within 20 minutes. Only bones were remaining. So historically, there were lot of vultures were found. More than thousands of vultures were found, but suddenly after 1990s, there was a rapid population decline following the use of diclofenac, a drug that was used to treat cattle. The drug was very dangerous to vultures as it can cause kidney failure and death for all the vultures. There are 9 species of vultures in India, and out of 9, 4 are critically endangered, 1 endangered, and 3 near threatened. Among them, white-rump vulture population has failed drastically, that is around 99%, following sanderbill population failed around 97%, and Eurasian griffon vulture failed slightly declined because it is wintering in India. The vulture was dying due to the use of veterinary drug diclofenac that was used to treat cattle. And not only this diclofenac, there are other drugs too that has been equally toxic to vultures. The diclofenac was banned in 2006, but aceclofenac, nimesulide, and ketoprofen is still used in veterinary practices that is equally toxic to vultures. Not only that, there is a major habitation loss that's happened for vultures. White-rump vultures, the study species, is one of the old world vultures that is native to South and Southeast Asia. Once most abundantly found in India, this is now the population has gone to critically endangered since 2000, and it is only a solitary egg giving species that gives only a single egg, and it is colonial nesting, and its season starts from October following April even till May. It actually locates carrion by thermal soaring. It uses the thermal gardens in sky to actually locate the carcasses. They have a strong sense of eyesight that they can see far above from where the carrion is. My study area in Kangra district is full of cheer pine forest, and it is in the backdrop of Dhaladhar ranges. And the vultures, I will understand the movement dynamics of the white-rump vultures in wild. My study is to understand the movement dynamics, and I have used a 55 gram EOPS GPS GSM tag. The trapping exercise was done following taking measurements, deploying the tag on bird, rechecking health and ensuring fitting of the tag and release of wild vultures within 20 minutes. So actually there are different available natural feeding stations that are naturally available in wild. So these natural feeding stations are those stations that are used by locals to dispose the cows. And after the disposal of the cows, after the vultures have eaten, the bones and the skins went to industry and they sold this. So these feeding stations are very much important for these vultures to survive in those areas. So first, we will start by nose trapping exercise. So this nose trapping exercise is done in those feeding station areas only, and we will skin the cow, and we used to wait there for 7 to 8 hours, so the vultures will come and trap in those nose traps. Following this, after 1 month, we have found our first vulture, and we have taken it to the nearest tent area where we have taken its measurements, and then we have tagged it along to thoracic X-strap harness according to Anderson et al. Also, we have checked the vulture for its fitness and how it can fly properly or not, and we have also ringed it. Finally, it was released in the wild, and it was only within 25 minutes that we have done all the trapping thing, and we have released the vulture in the wild. The releasing was done with care of 2 local assistants along with a field assistant that is from Forest Department. The highlights are these 5 rump vultures are moving every day from their roosting sites to their natural feeding sites, and mostly they will go from around morning 8 o'clock to their roosting sites to the feeding sites, and they again come back every day by 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock to their nesting sites or roosting sites. This is the tracking data of one individual that is showing movement in and around Kangra district, but it has moved around J&K till J&K and not more than that. So this is the movement data from February to this month, from the December month to February, and it is showing considerable movements in and around Kangra district as well as in Hamirpur district and J&K. The distance moved for each vulture, we have seen that the one sub-adult has moved the far, that is up to Jammu and Kashmir, but other vultures are moving in and around Kangra district only. From the tag data, we have also understood and found many tracking data. We have understood that there are many feeding stations that are actually left in wild that are not in official records, and these feeding stations are very much important for these vultures to survive, because there are only 4 supplementary feeding stations available in Kangra district by Forest Department, but these natural feeding stations that are managed by locals and those butchers in the community, those areas where they are selling bones and skins, these areas our vultures are going, and we have found it from our tagged vultures only. Another thing also, we have found that our tagged vulture has started nesting, and 2 of our tagged vulture among 3 have nested successfully this year. Not only success stories, there are threats also related to the vultures. The threats to vulture population in Kangra is that there is a continuous power line mortality, and you can understand these power lines are all nearby to the feeding stations in the locality, and these feeding stations are imposing a lot of risk to these birds. We are continuously working with the department to remove these power lines from the area, but these feeding stations cannot be changed because the locals have usually designated those particular feeding stations from far from the villages, so that the smells will not go or any other kind of thing will not go outside. So these feeding stations are actually threat to the power line areas, which is a concern of risk. Another thing also related to this is decrease of open carcass disposal. Mostly nowadays people are burying their carcasses because one is carrying charges of the carrion that they used to give it to the person who will carry the carcass to the particular feeding station. And another thing is the decrease of this open bone industry and skin industry. So the people are usually changing their jobs from doing this type of work than the other works, and they're burying the carcasses. So this imposes a great risk for the vultures, because food availability is a major thing that is actually important for the white-rump vultures. Other than that, there are threat to nesting trees also. There are forest fires by local for growth of grasses and raising collection that poses serious stress to nesting trees. only during the breeding season, if we can stop the resin collection, then that will be also a very important task. This tree in left that you can see is impact of forest fire, and the nest was above. So this imposes serious risk to the birds. And another just a new story that I wanted to share is that these vultures are monogamous pairs that we all know. They are monogamous pairs. They are having single pairs in the wild. So this left one was our tagged vulture, and it was not moving from that particular branch. It was very ill, and we were tracking it for 7-8 days, and it was not moving from that particular tree branch. So suddenly after 5 days, what we have seen that another vulture came, and it was continuously feeding that particular vulture. So that vulture finally regained its energy and it flown back to its nesting site. So it was a success story for this tagged vulture. And at the last, I will thank all of my team without whom I can't think of tagging my bird, and to my supervisor, Dr. Gautam Talukdar, to providing support. And I will thank Ministry of Environment and Forest Change for funding my study. Thank you everyone for all your support and guidance. Thank you. At the last, I will thank all of my team without whom I can't think of tagging my bird, and to my supervisor, Dr. Gautam Talukdar, to providing support. And I will thank Ministry of Environment and Forest Change for funding my study. Thank you everyone for all your support and guidance.
Fantastic, Maleshri. I guess on Discord, people are responding the quality of the effort you guys have put on field. It has given critical insights into the ecology of vultures. It is sad that despite having 40 million individuals in various vulture species, we have less than 2 or 3% available. So few of the quick questions for you from Suhail. Like, he wants to understand, and he compliments that it is amazing to know that one vulture was feeding the another. He wants you to clarify if both of them were adults. We can't hear you. Will you please switch on your mic? Thanks.
Yes, hello. So both of them were adults, only one sub-adult we have tagged. So that both of them were adults.
Great. So it will be good to like check their samples like whenever you can in the lab.
Definitely.
You have a lot of best wishes, boss, from all of us. Thank you.